Please allow me to begin by greeting His Majesty King Makhosoke II, the Premier of the Province, Mr. Ndlovu, the Cabinet, members of the Royal Family, EFCW Board, speakers, and all our beautiful esteemed guests. My name is Hotadi Seiso Mabena. Ke kgosatsana ya kwene. Ha eso ke dithabeng tse putswa tsa Morena Moshweshwe tsa bo rona tsa Lesotho. I was very happy mebem ha o utlwa hore o tswa Lesotho. And it always enlightens me when I'm around Usisayanda because she takes pride in where her husband comes from as well. So as we both cross into each other's borders, let us appreciate one another and respect each other accordingly. Hakele Mosotho, I am not a foreigner in this land, but instead we are brothers and sisters. So let us treat each other like that. I wasn't even aware that you're going to be reading my accolades because I assumed I might be brushing through them as I speak, but I just want to thank all the speakers who have stood here already, and although there's one speaker who hasn't said anything, but I will reserve those comments again for next year because you're somebody of law and we are dealing with a lot of law-based issues. A reflection and also giving thanks to Mamfukeng for that powerful prayer. I still need to, I owe you another visit and I will come. As they've mentioned, my job is very time consuming, so I have to share myself accordingly. Thank you very much, Sisayanda, for reminding us that as women, even though we are married, we should not forget where we come from, because it is the breath of our parents that make us who we are. I lost my mother at a very young age, my siblings and I, and my father took the fort and raised us. And he was a single parent. But he raised us very well, took us through school. We all have our own careers. My sister and I are married. My little brother's doing very well where he's working. And he never had to remarry. Not to say I'm happy because I'm sure he was a little bit lonely, but to say I'm proud that a man could single-handedly raise 2 girls and a boy without complaining a day in his life of the challenges it took to raise us as a traditional man. In life, we go through a lot and we reflect through certain things. And with this welfare, I think we have to all look back. Look back into who we are, look back into how we want to pour into other people's lives. I've also gone through a very good portion currently of all the issues that have been mentioned here today. And to say that Sis Emma, you've been through a lot, but your struggles should never reflect who you are. You've been abused, you've been ridiculed, you were put in plain sight of the world. And I will say of the world because your community is your world. Wherever each and every one of you come from, no matter if you're living in a village full of 10 people, that is your world and those are the people who are looking at you. But you chose to rise above. I myself chose to rise above. Because I came into an instance where I was publicly ridiculed, humiliated, and it was so sad that the things that were said by a man, but written by a woman. Where my womb was taken from pillar to post of why I don't have a child, and how barren I am, and how less of a woman I am because ke Mosotho ya sa tsebeng ho tswala. Bomme, you are not alone. We are here, we may have big and large positions, but we go through one thing or the other. But one thing I can tell you is that we as women are the ones who hurt each other the most. And when men mention it, we need not get angry for the behavior, the deplorable behavior that we have. And I will say it. I know I'm standing in front of women who are much older than me, and some who might be my peers and some who are younger. But let us change this deplorable behavior so that we are able to raise women and children of the type of future that we keep chanting we want. I do not go out of my way and stand in front of senators, stand in front of presidents, and address them of our issues, only to come back into a space where I myself am stabbed in the back multiple times by my own. I think I just wanted to highlight that our issues might be different, but similar in a lot of little ways. We do not have young women running and walking the streets. A few months ago, we were saying justice for Gwen. There are a lot of little Gogwes out there, some whose stories may never be heard, but it took that one for the entire country to move. This little lady here, and I would also just like to pledge myself to ECFW to providing toothbrushes and toothpaste biannually towards the foundation. Because hey, Molomo is everything. When our kids grow up, now 1 year, then they get married, imagine kissing your husband, is like, what's going on in there? So dental health is truly important. Advocate Kumaro also said a lot of things around the protection of minors and their rights. And this is also one thing that touches my heart deeply, because we see a lot of families splitting up due to violence. Hey, I don't know what we're going to do about this GBVF. I don't even think that is the appropriate name for it to have, because I think it's gone beyond every single day we're hearing of scary deaths. People going missing, people disappearing, people getting hijacked. I mean, what type of rotation is this that we see in a system where we should be trusting, but we feel unsafe? So we completely hear you, and we will support you in as best as we can. And I also just want to say we would also need support from you, because sometimes it's difficult to work when we do not know the people we should be working with. I am very much available. I am very much present. Those who might not see me for the first time in eMalahleni know that I will hit the call to be present. Those who will never see me for the first or last time in Ochis will know that I'm there. We move pillars, we move posts to ensure that our rights are not infringed on, and especially those of the children. And we've noticed that, importantly, the boys. We've always been having conversations about girls and how we'd like to empower them, forgetting that boys are also children themselves, that need the proper guidance, that need the correct type of love. There are connotations in the African language that we like saying, "Monna ke nku." It is with those words that we are teaching our boys to stray away from emotion, to be emotionless, and to be humanless. Because once you do not have emotion, it means you are just a vessel that is wandering. That is why it's so easy for them to detach and rape and murder multiple times without feeling pain, because we have taught them that truthfully, we need to start changing our systems. I like saying culture is not stagnant, but instead we need to move, protecting the positiveness of traditions and our customs, but aligning ourselves with the lives that we are living in that generation. Should I repeat it? Because I don't want you guys to leave this hall and misrepresent me to say, hey, because we're standing in front of us, culture. I am not saying that. I am saying the positiveness, the positive parts of our customs and culture we keep. But let us sieve out the negative things that we are seeing affecting our children in our communities. This is not a job for us alone. Instead, we need you to come forward to say, Wenyama, or whoever it may be, Ikosi in your area, can we please look at some of these things? Some of us sitting here, probably we have family members whose boys are already in the mountain. Correct, yes. We need to worry about what our boys are being taught there. We need to be very concerned. We also need to have a voice. Having a voice doesn't mean you make noise, but it means you sit down, the male counterpart, for him to understand where you are coming from.